Rindo, having deciphered the message engraved on the Penultimate Night, had uncovered a clue leading them to a mysterious location known as Fangzahnewald, or Fangs Forest. The gem's owner, Phileas Fogg, allowed them to take it, understanding that it was the key to discovering a place that existed only in legends. Aya, accompanied by her loyal maid Shizuku and dedicated bodyguard Tsugaru, walked along a secluded mountain path in southern Germany, heading towards a destination known as Willendorf. They were well aware of the peculiar task awaiting them there, to meet with real werewolves, creatures of myth and legend, before the enigmatic group known as the Banquet could achieve the same goal. Moriarty, their adversary, had made his intentions clear during their previous encounter, explaining that he required werewolf cells for his ambitious plan to create the ultimate chimera by injecting them into his apprentice, Jack. As they ventured deeper into the forest, Aya shared her past encounters with werewolves, harking back to an experience that had taken place 150 years ago. It was during a time when one of her associates had sought to determine which creatures possessed the capacity to slay an immortal being. Among the creatures brought for examination was a werewolf, confined within a cage. Despite their reputation for wildness and savagery, Aya revealed that werewolves were, in fact, highly intelligent beings. They could comprehend human language, possessed exceptional hiding abilities, and could seamlessly shift between three distinct forms: human, wolf, and a powerful beastman. The third form in particular was renowned for its formidable strength, enabling werewolves to grow to the size of bears, heightening their senses, and rendering their fur effectively bulletproof. While they were ferocious by nature, werewolves were also known for their reclusive tendencies, making it a considerable challenge for Aya and her companions to establish communication and navigate this unique encounter with these enigmatic creatures. As Aya, Shizuku, and Tsugaru continued their walk through the forest towards their destination, their journey was suddenly interrupted by the appearance of a man approaching them. The man seemed to be calling out to someone, and upon spotting the trio, he greeted them with a friendly demeanor. However, he discreetly prepared his pistol behind his back, a subtle sign of caution. Tsugaru offered a warm greeting in response, and the man's suspicions were confirmed when he recognized the maid and the blue-haired individual holding a birdcage as none other than the infamous cage users. This timely encounter was coincidental, as the man explained that his village was in dire need of their assistance. The man introduced himself as Dr. Heinemann and informed them that a troubling case involving a missing girl awaited their attention. Leading them towards the village, the trio observed that the villagers were unaccustomed to the presence of outsiders, which could present a challenge in their forthcoming endeavors. Dr. Heinemann detailed the series of incidents that had shaken the village over the past year. It all began when the chief's granddaughter disappeared one fateful night after fetching water, and her lifeless body was discovered the following day, horribly mangled. 4 months later, a woodcutter's daughter met a similar fate, with her body found burned and mutilated. Another 4 months passed, and a girl from a miller family became the third victim, sharing the same grim fate as the previous two. Each incident occurred on a rainy night when the girls left their homes, and the bodies were discovered days later in the forest. Disturbingly, all the bite marks on the victims matched, as confirmed by their grieving families. The most recent abduction occurred just the previous night, when a girl named Louise was kidnapped from her locked room on a rainless evening. Dr. Heinemann presented a hypothesis that these incidents might be connected to an event from 8 years ago, when villagers had hunted down a female werewolf and her daughter. Though those creatures had perished, the present-day villagers suspected that another werewolf was hiding among them, masquerading as one of their own. The shadow of fear and suspicion loomed over the village, casting a sinister pall over their current predicament. Upon their arrival at the village's church, the detectives found themselves amidst a heated dispute involving two villagers named Gustav and Knut. The quarrel centered around the abduction of Gustav's daughter, Louise. Dr. Heinemann intervenes, diffusing the tension and introducing the detectives to the villagers. As Aya made her presence known, it was as expected. Her unusual appearance initially shocked and horrified the villagers. However, she manages to calm their fears with her composed demeanor and assures them that she could unravel the mystery at hand. The trio was then escorted to Gustav's residence, where Louise's portrait was displayed. Louise, a frail girl confined to a wheelchair, rarely ventured outside and was always accompanied by her parents. The previous night, Louise had been tucked into her bed by her mother, who noticed nothing amiss as she locked one of the room's 2 windows. The other window was stuck, so she didn't investigate further. Shortly thereafter, they heard commotion from Louise's room, prompting Gustav to retrieve his shotgun. However, upon breaking the lock and entering the room, they discovered a scene of chaos, with Louise missing. Upon inspecting the room, the detectives observed signs of a struggle, with blood on the bed, but none elsewhere. Werewolf footprints were present, originating from the fireplace and leading toward the stuck window. Aya instructed Shizuku to drop an object down the chimney to gather clues regarding the intruder's entry. Surprisingly, there were no footprints on the roof. Strangely, nothing appeared to be missing from the room. Aya deduced that the room had been staged to make it appear as if there had been a struggle. Nevertheless, she was convinced that the culprit was the same individual based on bite marks found on a book and the consistent procedure in previous cases. Shizuku also pointed out a damaged lock on a nearby shed, reportedly damaged during a robbery a year ago, around the time of the first incident. The detectives proceeded to interrogate the village chief, who shared historical information about the village's past encounters with these creatures. A century ago, these beasts would prey upon the village, consistently approaching from the base of a nearby waterfall. When Aya inquired whether these werewolves hailed from the legendary Fangs Forest, the village leader grew defensive and was hesitant to provide further details. Aya negotiated a deal, offering to solve Louise's abduction mystery in exchange for information on how to reach the mythical village. The village leader agreed, acknowledging the significance of the Penultimate Night as a key to locating it. When asked if he believed the werewolf culprit was hiding within the village, the chief expressed doubt. Most villagers were born there, and the potential suspects, if any, would likely be newcomers. He revealed that he had already conducted tests on 3 individuals, Heinemann, Knut, and a painter named Alma. To detect werewolves, he had subjected them to various sensory challenges, such as ringing bells and presenting fragrant flowers. Despite these trials, the 3 individuals had remained calm, leading the chief to believe they were ordinary humans. The village leader continues to provide valuable information about the strengths of werewolves, emphasizing their ability to manipulate their bloodline through their offspring, potentially creating more powerful descendants. This includes developing immunity against silver bullets and holy water, except when shot in human form, specifically inside the mouth or eyes. Legends spoke of a king of the werewolves who would be born through this method, a truly formidable creature if it were to exist. However, there was no concrete proof of its birth as of yet. The village leader drew upon his own experiences and the tales passed down, particularly his involvement in the events of 8 years ago when they hunted a werewoman and her daughter. They had prepared silver bullets, but were surprised when the creatures showed no fear of their weapons. Ultimately, they decided to burn the silo where the creatures were hiding, showing no mercy even to the young girl inside. The detectives decided to focus their interrogation efforts on those newcomers to the village. Knut, the man accused by Gustav, was an engineer and had a detailed account of the werewolves from 8 years ago. He shared that the villagers revered Louise because she was the one who had uncovered the presence of the wolves. However, the reason for the werewolves' initial presence remained a mystery. 5 years prior to the incident, Knut had found a silver-haired woman named Rose abandoned in the forest. She was pregnant and severely injured. Initially, they believed she was a maid expelled due to illicit affairs. Knut took her in, and after a few months of recovery, she gave birth to a healthy girl named Yeti. Rose generally kept to herself, and the occasional howls in the forest led them to believe she might have a connection to the wolves. One day, Rose mistakenly identified Louise as her daughter, and whispered to her that if she smelled a fragrant flower, she must not reveal her ears. Louise's curiosity got the better of her, leading her to expose Jet to the flower, resulting in her transformation and triggering the events that led to the hunt, fire, and apparent demise of mother and daughter. When questioned about the identity of the culprit, Knut claimed neither he nor Heinemann were responsible. However, he expressed suspicion regarding the painter Alma, who had depicted Louise's portrait, and those of the 3 previous werewolf victims. Alma was described as a woman in her mid-20s with golden hair, known for wearing a coat splattered with paint. She claimed to hail from a family of artists and to have studied at an art academy. Alma also mentioned occasionally sighting a golden werewolf near her house, unaware if the villagers were aware of its presence, as she lived on the outskirts of the village. Aya, as she had done before, asked for her insights on the culprit, to which Alma inquired whether Aya believed she was responsible. Aya refrained from making any direct accusations, but subtly exposed Alma's lies. She noted that Alma's manner of holding the charcoal pencil differed from someone who had attended an art academy, suggesting that she was a self-taught artist. Despite being caught in her lies, Alma remained composed and revealed that she had been abandoned at a young age, rendering her family and personal history unknown to her. She expressed her love for art and presented the charcoal sketch of Aya as a testament to her passion. The detectives thanked her for her cooperation before deciding to visit the river leading to the waterfall. As they approached the river, they observed its strong current and the thick mist forming near the waterfall, which made it difficult to see the bottom. The remnants of the burned silo also caught their attention. It was during this visit that Tsugaru sensed a distant presence, raising suspicions that the banquet had arrived in the vicinity. The detectives make their way to Heinemann's house, where they intended to stay for the night. During their conversation, Heinemann shared a previous incident in which Louise had gone missing. On that occasion, her wheelchair had become stuck in the mud, rendering her unable to call for help. Fortunately, she was found later that night, safe and sound. Their discussion was suddenly interrupted by the arrival of two more unexpected guests. Rapid Shot Alice and Chaintail Kyle, the third and fourth agents from the Royce Consulting Security Department, had followed the lead provided by Holmes and joined the investigation. Tensions run high as Alice expresses a desire to eliminate Aya and her companions. However, Aya quickly briefs them on the ongoing case involving the werewolves, emphasizing the potential opportunities for the agents to confront these creatures. Alice agrees to cooperate, albeit begrudgingly. Once the three were alone again, Aya provides Tsugaru with what she refers to as his regular supplements. Shizuku watched this interaction with silent jealousy. However, their intended restful night takes an unexpected turn when they hear shouts coming from Alma's house. Rushing to investigate, they arrive just in time to witness Alma's transformation into a golden beast woman, then into a smaller, yet still formidable werewolf. Tsugaru engages in a fierce battle with the werewolf, discovering that it matched his strength. The agents and Shizuku attempt to shoot the creature, but find their efforts ineffective. At one point, the werewolf targets Aya, prompting Shizuku to prepare to shoot it in the eye. However, the creature swiftly dodges her shot. The werewolf succeeds in capturing Aya's cage and hurls it into the nearby waterfall. Shizuku leaps after it, managing to grab the cage but ultimately falling into the mysterious mists below. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.